The greatest moment at Dodger Stadium took place on October 15, 1988. In 1974, the Oakland Athletics faced the Los Angeles Dodgers in the first ever All-California World Series. The Dodgers were favored to win it, but would lose to Oakland 4-1. 14 years later, the two teams would have a rematch, with this time the A's, winners of 104 games during the regular season, being the team favored to win the series, especially since the Dodgers had to bench star player Kirk Gibson due to serious leg problems. Starting the first game were Dave Stewart for the Athletics and Tim Belcher for the Dodgers, with both pitchers getting in trouble early. Belcher would have control problems in the first inning, loading the bases, but would get out of it. In the bottom of the inning, Mickey Hatcher, Gibson's replacement and who had only one home run all season, would surprise the crowd by hitting a two-run homer to left field to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. In the top of the second, Belcher would continue to have control trouble, loading the bases once again with AL MVP Jose Canseco coming to the plate. Canseco would make him pay by hitting a grand slam to center field to give the Athletics a 4-2 lead. Belcher would be chased after the second inning, and the A's, for the next two innings, would get some opportunities to blow the game open, but reliever Tim Leary would keep them at bay. The game would remain 4-2 in the bottom of the sixth, when the Dodgers would put runners at first and second with one out. Mike Scioscia would come up and line a single to left to narrow the lead to one and put the tying run at second base, but Stewart would get Jeff Hamilton to hit into a double play. Stewart would shut down the Dodgers for the next two innings, and the ninth, Dennis Eckersley, who had come into his own as one of the game's best closers, came in to try to close the door. He would retire the first two hitters, and Mike Davis would come to the plate, with pinch hitter Dave Anderson on deck. Eckersley ended up walking Davis, and with Anderson being the on-deck hitter, the Eck likely had an impression that Anderson was the easier out and was likely intentionally throwing pitches out of the strike zone to Davis. If this was the case, Eckersley was tricked because instead of Anderson coming up to the plate, manager Tommy Lasorda sent up Kirk Gibson, despite him not being expected to play. When the National League's most valuable player was announced as the pinch hitter, the crowd of 55,983 could not believe what they were seeing, and they went crazy. Gibson showed how much pain he was in as he struggled to make contact with Eckersley's pitches, but the fans would continue to cheer him on for the entire at-bat. Eck would get 2 strikes on Gibson, but Gibson would work the count full, and Davis would steal second. Prior to the game, Gibson would say that a Dodger scout had provided a report on Eckersley, saying that with a full count on a left-handed power hitter, one could be absolutely certain that Eckersley would throw a backdoor slider. After Davis stole second base, Gibson got that exact pitch, and in what would be one of the all-time greatest moments in sports, Gibson launched the ball deep into right field, and all that Canseco could do was watch the ball fly well into the stands as the Dodgers Stadium crowd went crazy while Gibson pumped his fist, circling the bases. The Dodgers won the game 5-4, and that bat would be Gibson's only appearance in the series, but it would be the '88 World Series' most vivid moment, and the Dodgers would go on to beat the Athletics in 5 games to win their first World Series in 7 years.